welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today's video, we are going to be talking about everything I get from Sprouts Farmers Market grocery store. Sprouts has been one of my favorite grocery stores, farmers markets, for a long time now. I've done different food videos, how to read labels, what foods you should and shouldn't eat in the grocery store. I've done videos like that before on my previous channel, but today I want to be talking about everything that I eat from Sprouts Farmers Market here in 2025. I want to give you guys some different recipe ideas with some of the ingredients that I have here, some different nutritional advice, some different nutritional value that I want to offer you guys. So here it is. Here's everything that I get from Sprouts Farmers Market in 2025. First up, I have some organic pasture-raised eggs. A lot of really good positive things I love about eggs, but I also want to tell you guys about some of the downsides and some of the things to watch out for eggs. First, when you're shopping for eggs in the grocery store, always make sure to open it up to make sure all your eggs are whole and they're not cracked. That's step number one. Step number two, if it's in the budget and if it's possible, pay the extra $1 or $2 to get yourself some organic egg. That's gonna mean that the feed that the chickens are eating is an organic feed. It's not gonna be sprayed with pesticides. It's not gonna have grains and barley and wheat that is sprayed with pesticides that the chickens are then eating that is gonna get into the quality of the egg. Other thing to think about, there's different labeling markers that you wanna look out for when you're buying eggs. You're gonna have free range, you're gonna have cage free, you're gonna have pasture raised. I've done a video on this before, but the one you want to look out for and the one you want to get is going to be pasture raised. Pasture raised means that the chicken have roaming area. They have access to open pasture to some degree. Cage free is really just going to mean they're not kept in those tiny little cages, and free range is going to mean they have a small square footage of roaming that they can have, but pasture raised is going to make sure that they have roaming space to where they can eat the things that chickens are supposed to eat. They can eat bugs and seeds and worms. The last thing I want to mention with eggs is I generally like to get eggs from a local farm to where I can ask the farmer or at least know what's fed to the chickens. The issue with eggs today in America is a lot of these chickens are being fed bad feeds, refined grains that are overall just going to affect the nutrient density of the eggs. So the farm that I actually typically will get eggs from, they did a test on their chickens and the quality of the eggs and of the chicken was super high. Their omega-6 to omega-3 ratio was probably the best that I've ever seen tested. So I did decide to get these eggs from Sprouts today just so you guys could see what type of eggs I would get. Now I did try to get a corn and soy free organic egg. That was my goal. I did this from Instacart and they replaced it with just a regular organic pasture raised eggs. But if I could give you guys 3 things to look for, it would be to have corn and soy free eggs so that those estrogen rich, highly GMO foods are not getting into the chicken's digestion. Next would be to make sure the feed is organic. It's not sprayed with pesticides and it's a good quality organic feed that the chickens are eating. And then the third would be that pasture raised that I mentioned. Organic, pasture raised corn and soy free eggs is optimal. Otherwise, eggs are still a super nutrient dense food. They have all 9 amino acids, also super bioavailable, which means that when you eat the eggs, your body is able to absorb a lot of the nutrients that are in the eggs. And keep in mind, the egg white protein on the outside, that is the albumin protein. That is where you get the protein from the egg. But you do want to make sure you're eating the yolk because that's where all the nutrients, right? The vitamin B, the selenium, all of the vitamins and minerals are going to be found in that yolk itself. If that part can be as close to not cooked as possible, that's going to give you the most nutrients, but it is a lot safer and healthier to cook the outside, the egg albumin, so that you have that egg protein, but you also have the vitamins and minerals that come with the yolk. So there it is, guys. There's my eggs from Sprouts. So as some of you might know, I pretty much only eat 5 things, and one of those 5 things is red meat. I'm not a huge fan of things like chicken. Other than the actual protein in the chicken, there's just not a lot of other nutrients that chicken offers, but it is a great source of lean protein. If you're somebody who's looking to cut weight, it's very low calorie and it's a great source of protein. So just to show you guys, I did decide to buy some organic free range chicken. So it's not quite pasture raised, but it's probably the highest quality that Sprouts had. You get chicken thighs just because honestly I like the taste of chicken thighs. And so how I like to cook these is I will put some nutritional yeast on these, and I will put a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper or chili flakes, and I will just throw them in the air fryer. They come out super crispy, cooks perfectly if you put it on your chicken setting of your air fryer. And I really like this style of chicken. I know that it's not being cooked in some nasty oil at a restaurant, and I know that it's at least organic and it's at least good quality chicken. All right, guys, as you know, I love sardines. This is the best quality brand and the best tasting brand that I've found. It is called Fishwife. They have really good quality sardines that are Atlantic caught, also packaged in 100% extra virgin Spanish olive oil, which is awesome. A lot of the oils that are found in sardines is often rancid. It's been sitting in there forever. Not to mention it's usually not organic or 100% unrefined olive oil. And so what I like to do with sardines is I either like to buy sardines in just natural spring water and put my own olive oil and my own salt on them, or I like to just pay a little bit extra, get some high quality sardines, some high quality olive oil and salt already in there, and it's a quick on the go snack that I can eat. Super high in omega-3s, which is going to be good for overall brain health, cognition, memory. Super high in bioavailable protein, usually about 18 grams for this small little container. So sardines are one of my favorite things when I'm just kind of feeling lazy, I don't feel like cooking. I like to pop in just a couple sardines, put a little bit of chili flakes, put a little bit of salt on there, maybe a little bit of lemon. Also got some anchovies and some mackerel just to mix it up a little bit. But ultimately, these sardines, these mackerel, these anchovies, they are small prey fish. And so they're not going to be absorbing a lot of the heavy metals and a lot of the mercury that some of these larger fish are going to be consuming. And so you can eat sardines every day or at least every other day. It's a super awesome snack. You can use it as a meal, super nutrient dense. I definitely recommend sardines. And if you're somebody who can't get behind the taste of sardines, I would just say give it a try every once in a while. I think you'll build up an appetite for it. I think you'll build up a taste for it. And also, once you realize how healthy they are for you, it can kind of help you to push past the uncomfortability of the taste at first and just understand that it's a super nutrient dense food, and I couldn't recommend it more. Next up, I have some bone broth. There's two main ways I will do bone broth. I will either buy it like this in a container that already has the bone broth in there. Usually it has things like onions, carrots, celery, parsley, apple cider vinegar, some different ingredients that are in here to flavor it up. But for me, which I'm gonna make a video on this very soon, I don't do onions, I don't do garlic, and I don't really like all the extra additives that they put in here. So if you can, what I like to recommend is from a local butcher, maybe a local farmer's market or a local farm, is to get your own beef bones, to slow roast them, to cook them and extract out all the collagenous tissue, all the fat that's gonna be in there, and just make your own bone broth. It's gonna be a lot cheaper, and then you can season it up the way you want if you wanna put other seasonings in there. One thing I used to do a lot is I would go to Sprouts and I would get one of those organic, high quality chickens for I think it's like 12 bucks. I'd usually get about 2 or 3 meals out of that, and then when I was done with the bones, I would just slow roast the bones and make my own chicken bone broth. Nowadays, if I'm gonna buy bone broth or I'm sick or something like that, I'll usually get this Kettle and Fire. It's a pretty decent brand. It's made with 100% grass-fed, grass-finished bones. But what I recommend the most is just getting your own bones and making your own bone broth. You won't regret it. You can use bone broth to drink straight up, or one of the main ways I like to use bone broth is to cook it with your white rice. It's gonna give the rice a bunch more flavor and a bunch more nutrients. So that is how I like to use my bone broth. On to the next. Next up is bananas. It is winter here in Maryland, so I don't eat a ton of fruit, but I also believe in scaling up or down my carbs based on my activity level. It just so happens that I love bananas. I think it's a great snack. It's super versatile. You can put peanut butter on it, you can put honey on it. You can have it with something that's sweet, something that's savory. Bananas are just super versatile. But one thing I do recommend about bananas, if you can, it's usually good to get organic because the soft skin of the banana, those pesticides that are sprayed on, is going to be able to creep into the banana a little bit. Another thing, see how these bananas have just a little bit of green on them? As best as you can, I would wait to make sure your bananas are fully ripe. This green part is the fruit letting you know that it's not ripe, it's not ready to be eaten yet. There's going to be plant defense chemicals, there's going to be lectins that are not going to be optimal for your gut health. So I like my bananas to get super ripe before I eat them. They're gonna have more simple sugars, but if you're somebody who's active, that's gonna be totally okay. Bananas, guys, love some bananas. Next up is gonna be a high quality spring water. I love Mountain Valley. Mountain Valley has a good mix of potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Honestly, it's just water the way that God intended it to be. It's got the perfect taste. It's got the perfect minerals that your body would need. And it's in glass. As you guys might know, I do not drink out of plastics. I have my own reverse osmosis water system here at the house, but I also do enjoy drinking some Mountain Valley water out of these glass bottles. Try to avoid the BPAs and all the gross things found in plastic that are gonna leach into the water and leach into the food. I try to avoid plastic as much as possible. Next up, and this is an interesting one, I have some vinegar here. Now listen, vinegar is like the best cleaning agent that you can use. When I want to deep clean my house, I will just put vinegar into a spray bottle with a couple drops of lemon and a couple drops of tea tree oil. I will shake that up and I will spray it and use that spray to just clean things around the house. I also use vinegar to clean my clothes. Vinegar is the best natural cleaner that you can use. It's super cheap. This huge thing was like $5. Honestly, you can get it cheaper at other grocery stores. I use any synthetic detergent to clean my laundry. All I use is just a little bit of vinegar. And this one's actually a scented vinegar, which is kind of cool. The brand is called Four Monks. It is a citrus and mint vinegar. I'm gonna use this to clean my clothes. I'll put about 4 tablespoons to a half cup of vinegar in with my clothing. Put it in the dryer. When you take it out, you do not smell the vinegar and you get clean laundry. It's a much cheaper, much more effective, healthy, safer way to clean your clothes. Another thing that I like to do that I wanted to mention, I did not buy any today because I have some in the house, but is I will wash my dishes with baking soda. Again, same thing. Baking soda is super cheap, but it's one of the best natural cleaners that you can use. But you're not gonna wanna mix vinegar and baking soda because vinegar is very acidic and baking soda is very basic. So there's gonna be that nice explosive reaction that you used to have in science class if you mix them together. But what you can do is you can use them separate, right? So you can maybe mix it up if you wanna do your wash with your clothes with some baking soda one day and then the next time some vinegar. It's gonna really effectively clean your clothes. But it saves me so much money using vinegar to clean my clothes and using baking soda to wash my dishes. So I literally just put it in the little container, close it up, hit start on my dishwasher, and that's it. Definitely recommend those 2 hacks for laundry and for dishes. Next up is some coconut water. This is my favorite brand coconut water. It is called Harmless Harvest. Coconut water is one of the best ways after a workout to replenish your magnesium, potassium, and sodium, some of the different things that you lost during your workout. It is the best natural form of hydration. So I will drink about 1 of these when I have a really hard Muay Thai session or a really hard workout, maybe a run, something like that, where I'm losing a lot of nutrients and I'm losing a lot of sodium and I need to replenish that. Love coconut water. This brand is as close to the coconuts in Thailand that I've tasted, so I'm pretty bougie with my coconut water. I pretty much only will drink a natural fresh coconut, a young coconut, or I'll drink the Harmless Harvest. Super good, definitely recommend. Another key for hydration and overall vitamin C is gonna be organic lemons. I love organic lemons. I pretty much drink a warm lemon water with a little bit of salt during the day because as I'm training and as I'm expending energy, losing salt and losing electrolytes, these lemons are gonna make sure that I am having bioflavonoids that come from the lemons, vitamin C, and also just the overall hydration that lemon provides. The lemon is a straight up superfood. I put it in my water. I tell our athletes and our fighters to put a little lemon, a little salt in their water to stay hydrated when they're expending a lot of energy and nutrients in the gym. Last up, I just got this because I thought it would be fun. I do really love probiotic and prebiotic things. As you guys know, I love raw kefir, raw Greek yogurt, things like that, raw sauerkraut. But this is actually pretty cool. This is a probiotic coconut yogurt. This brand is called Coconut Cult. I also like another one called Cocoyo. Now they are pretty pricey. This little thing was like $9, and I think the Cocoyos are like $5.99. But it is like a cool little dessert that you can have that's gonna be good for your overall gut health and digestive health. So I'm a big fan of fermented foods like this, like a sauerkraut. It's gonna aid so much in digestion. It's gonna be good for the gut microbiome and the gut-brain axis. You're just gonna feel better when you eat fermented foods, probiotic, prebiotic foods like this. I'm really excited to try this. The only ingredients are organic coconut cream, organic coconut nectar, organic cacao, and custom probiotic cultures. We're gonna give this a try for dessert one night this week and see how it is. Now look, that's not everything because I did get this from Instacart Plus and I didn't feel like just browsing all around. As you guys know, I eat a ton of red meat, but I get that from a separate farm down in Texas. As you guys know, I love my raw dairy, but again, I get that from a farm in the area. But if I was gonna go to Sprouts and get my regular grocery haul, this is pretty much everything that I would get. Sprouts does have a raw kefir from Raw Farm and some raw cheese that's pretty good. It's not 100% grass-fed, but it's still pretty good. And they have this golden turmeric kefir, super, super good. So if I did go in person, I would definitely grab that as well. Maybe some raw cheese, and then maybe a couple other things, some organic apples, some organic dates, just some other things to keep around the house. But that's pretty much it, guys. There is my Sprouts grocery haul. Feel free to comment down below what you guys want to see next time. And give the channel a subscribe, guys. It really helps the channel to grow. For all of the ministry content, it also helps to get the word out there more. The more subscribers, the more YouTube is going to post my stuff out there. The more people are going to hear the gospel. The more people are going to be able to experience overall health, what it means to eat healthy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Until next time, in Jesus' name.